today we're going to check out the new Aqua Illumination Refugium light. What's going on, guys? Devin with ReefDudes. So I'm super excited because today I finally get to show you guys the new Aqua Illumination Refugium light. Same form factor as the regular AI Prime HDs, except it has a different blend of diodes. This one has all the latest Cree and Luxon diodes. There is two different spectrums of red. You got white as well as ultraviolet. And this one is tuned specifically for Chaetomorpha algae. I've been running on the tank for about 15 days now, and the growth I've had is absolutely amazing, so I'm very super impressed. So prior to this, I was using this lovely par 38 bulb. Quite a sexy light, I know. I'm sure you guys all want one. Can you tell the difference of which sleekness inside the stand? Yeah, that's what I thought. But this guy has honestly had some amazing growth. Within 15 days, my Chaetos probably, I'm gonna say, at least quadrupled in size. Actually, I do have a pic of when I first installed it. So you can see it right in the front. I got my little ball of Chaeto underneath the light. And right behind I had the turf scrubber. Now, I decided to take the turf scrubber off for the month because I wanted to give the light a really good trial, and having them both tandem in there didn't seem like the best way to do it. Now take a look at the Refugium now. Look at this whole chamber is almost completely full. And this is 15 days. 15 days ago, it was maybe, I'm gonna say, less than a quarter of this, if even that. And on top of that, I've given a handful of Chaeto to about 6 different reefers in the past 2 weeks. Look at that, it's just solid. This growth is absolutely insane. So hands down, testing this thing, it's on the money. Now, it's even all the way down to the bottom. Like, it's crazy how much growth it's having. Did I mention it looks a heck of a lot sexier than this hanging over the sump? Another thing I do really appreciate about this is, yes, there's a lot of red, but there's also a couple white diodes into it. So it's not blinding you, it's not that crazy pink light that you get with some of the other lights. You can actually look in here, you can see all the critters, you can still see like the proper colors and detail from the white diodes that are mixed in. And that goes a long way. I do really appreciate that aspect of it. So this guy is mounted about 7.5, 8 inches above, and we got about 14 wide by 19 deep. So I just pulled out the Apogee MQ510, and we're gonna do a couple quick par tests on it. Directly under the light, 4,000 par, we're getting crazy. Realistically, just at the surface where your Chaeto tends to float, directly under it, I'm getting around 790, 820. So just average, say, about 800 par directly under the surface, and that's where the main center of your Chaeto is gonna go. So this was about 14, 15 inches wide, I think I said. And the one side, we're getting around 330 par, so it does drop off a little bit there. And far back corner, where it's not actually getting too much light, is about 140 par if I angle it towards the light. So still decent amount of par in there. Insane amounts of par in the middle, and I mean, this growth rate really does speak for itself. This literally, 2 weeks ago was a small little area that was maybe not even halfway down. Now this whole chamber is basically full. There's a little square in the corner here. That's about it. Like, I'm still honestly blown away how much this is growing so fast. Now it's actually really interesting to take a look at the pH graphs. If you look at the first peak, this is when I decided to take off the algae turf scrubber and just run the Prime Fuge light. The next day you can see a big massive drop in pH. Obviously losing that turf scrubber is a lot of oxidation algae growth I just took away from the system. But over the next few days, the pH climbed right back up there. So I was surprised how quick it actually recovered. Now I was getting some crazy growth with the algae over the next week or two. And if you look back to a more recent graph from today, you can see all the peaks are consistently above 8.25. They're more 8.27, 8.28 on the daily basis. And even my lows have raised up higher. So obviously as that massive algae grows, it's going to suck more CO2 out of the water, and it's going to raise your pH overall. But yeah, it's really cool to just see even the lows, the highs, everything. My pH just went way up since I started using this Refugium light. This little guy has 24 inches of spread, so you can do a pretty big area. Now the only one downfall, just being a bit higher up, is you can see the bit of algae I'm starting to get inside of my skimmer. So I've actually made these really cool little light shapers that clip onto the bottom. And what they will do is allow you to control where the light is. So instead of hitting the skimmer, I can control the little flap down a bit and move it so the light is just not hitting it. So I make sure all my light's going to my algae and not growing algae on equipment stuff, just getting right inside the chamber. Same on this side. Make sure I put the flap down just so the light's not hitting the return pump. and it keeps all the light directed right down onto the algae. So super cool little thing. Now I do suspect that some of you guys are going to want these. I've been talking to Vivid Creative Aquatics, see if they can print out a bunch in bulk since I got an army of little printers. And once I actually get the design 100% nailed down, I'll update the comments, the link for Feature if you guys want to pick some up. So if you guys haven't noticed by now, I'm obviously loving this light so far. It's a sleek little light and it packs a pretty big punch. I mean, it's obviously proving itself with the Chaeto growth it's had in just a little over 2 weeks now. It's been a couple days since I filmed that last clip, and it's even more grown. Like, it still blows me away at how quick it's actually growing. So as for the LEDs, you got 2 different spectrums of red. You got your white, your ultraviolet, which has been proving itself to work very well. I do really appreciate the white spectrums. You can actually see the algae, it's green. It doesn't look all pink and white and washed out. And so you can actually go check out your pods and your critters and see all the little life in your sump, which I kind of think that's a lot of fun to do. So if you guys have any questions, as always, let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, smash that like button. If you're new, make sure you subscribe and hit that bell. And I'll catch you guys on the next video. In my hands, I hold the power to grow explosive Chaetomorpha algae. Now, the other one really cool thing with this light is you can control it with my AI app. So like any other AI lights, you can use the app. You can ramp it up, ramp it down. You can acclimate your Chaeto slowly. Or if you want to kind of balance it and slowly ease it up as your lights dim down and kind of like find that perfect pH balance. So there's lots of really cool things you can do with this little light, and it definitely packs the punch.